What's up, everybody? And it is December 4th, and the winter meetings are a couple days away, and I figured I'll come on and do some more off-season talk. I've been doing it every day. Tomorrow, I'll probably record a normal episode, or maybe I'll do it live. I haven't decided. I'm trying to record on Wednesdays and Fridays now. And then obviously next week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be live every night. Um, Hopefully we'll have some live, even if it's non-Yankee related. Um, we'll have some live things to go over. So I'm actually going to start because we don't have too much Yankee stuff. I mean, we're going to definitely discuss some more of the hot stove comments from last night, other things that have developed through the day to day, things I've been hearing from around the league, and in talking to sources throughout the day to day, things that I'm hearing that you know I maybe shouldn't. I mean, I'm gonna share, but I'm not gonna share too much. That would like get me in trouble. But I want to preface with everything on Hot Stove last night wasn't necessarily the Yankees' fault. Now, Michael K said on his show today. Wait, why did that come up as a ticker? I want that to come up as a. Hold on. Michael K mentioned on his show last night that he doesn't know that he mentioned on his show today that he thinks that the Yankees are trying to stay under the 300. That seems to be a goal. Now, look, I promise you, if they're staying under 300, I don't know if this team makes the playoffs, if we're being honest. Maybe because of the pitching staff. But that's asking a lot. And as of right now, they're not doing enough this offseason that they can afford to stay under the $300 million payroll. Now, I'm not saying it have to be 350. I'm saying they have to spend a little bit here. I mean, they can't just not, right? And if they do, one source said to me today, like, they're the fucking Yankees, act like it, is with exclamation points, is what I was told. I'm like, yeah, thanks. And then I asked, and I'm not getting specific names because they don't know names. Then I kind of tried to dig a little bit deeper of like, well, are they being tight-lipped? And it was kind of like, well, either that or Cashman's not doing anything. And I have a hard time believing Cashman's not doing anything. Then I heard something a little while ago that I am not at liberty to share, but should give hope. I mean, it's a positive. I'm just not going to share it until I get confirmed. We could be on the live stream and I get a text saying, "Hey, this is real. I have a piece already written on it." But the Yankees right now, and obviously, I think we were on here right before the Tucker report came out last night. The Tucker to the Blue Jay facility, not groundbreaking. That shouldn't surprise anybody, actually, because the Blue Jays are in Dunedin, which is close to Tampa, which is where the Yankee facility is. And I honestly, players go all the time to other teams' facilities. That's just kind of how the game works. That kind of just happens. They go to other teams' facilities all the time to meet with them and to talk with them and be like, hey, this is what, I'm looking for. This is, I want to see your facilities before making a commitment. So that shouldn't be groundbreaking. Now, Toronto is absolutely pursuing Tucker. They're ending up with one of Tucker or Bichette. I know Heyman said that they could end up with both. I do not see that happening. Personally, I think if they end up with Tucker, I think Bichette walks on his own because I think he'll feel insulted. If I had to guess the more likely thing, I would probably guess that they end up with Bichette over Tucker. The reason I think that is because they like Bichette. They want a reunion with Bichette, and I think that just makes sense for both sides. Now, I'm not reporting that because I don't really handle Blue Jays stuff. This isn't a Blue Jays show. This is a Yankee show, and I'm more so AL East. So let's talk about the trade that just went down. The Red Sox are acquiring right-hand pitcher Johan Oviedo, who is very good, by the way. He's been really good over the past few years. And then the Red Sox are also acquiring left-handed pitcher Tyler Samagino, who's a minor leaguer, and catcher Adonis Guzman, also a minor leaguer with like no numbers. They're like single A prospects. Pittsburgh getting outfielder Yastingson Garcia, or the password because no one can pronounce his name, and Jesus Treviso, a minor leaguer, a minor league pitcher. The password actually made his major league debut against the Yankees, and it wasn't great. He wasn't really impressive in his short stint up with the big league club. So now he's in Pittsburgh, which is a lot less high stakes and might be better for his development right-hander. So we're seeing teams in the American League East continue to get better. They're getting better by the day, and we're stuck here with the Yankees in neutral. Now, I want to remind everybody, Brian Cashman said the other day, or not the other day, he said during his media availability 2 weeks ago, he mentioned, this might be it. Is this it? No, that's my piece from the other day. I guess I don't have it. He mentioned in his media availability the other day that, or 2 weeks ago it was, I'm going to pull it up so we can see it on the screens. Just hold on. He mentioned on the media availability that, yeah, they had at least preliminary talks with Tucker. He also mentioned that the Yankees were super interested. We're super interested in Bellinger, and they love him, and like he's the best. Look, if I had to choose one of the two for the Yankees to get this offseason, I'm 100%. Why is this doing this? I'm 100% choosing for them to acquire Tucker. Where was the quote? Okay. So with everyone saying, and I know I wrote it because you know what, I did it partially because it's a good headline and gets clicks. But the content in the column I wrote last night following a hot stove wasn't like bashing the Yankees yet, and that'll come if they don't do much. Yeah, of course. Like, of course I'm gonna bash them and be like, you have the best player on the planet, and you guys aren't building a team around him to compete. Garrett Cole has not been healthy in 2 years, and when he is healthy, he's one of the best pitchers in the league. When he's not healthy, yeah, what are we doing here? Rodon starting the season late. Schmidt, I don't know where the idea that Schmidt's back in August is coming from. Don't know where, or back in July. I don't know where that idea is coming from because I definitely don't think that. I think it takes longer than that to come back from Tommy John. They need a starting pitcher, is my point. But Cashman said, we got Grisham in the field that, is one of our big hitters and defenders is back. Okay, it was a close call. We'd be excited. We'd be excited that he's coming back because we believe he's capable of replicating last offseason. Jack Curry said that on the show last night. Jack Curry pretty much didn't mention anything out of the ordinary last night. This is the Bellinger quote. We'd love to bring Bellinger back. I talked to Scott Boras yesterday about Belly and other free agents of his. He mentioned that they had with Casey Close about his free agents. The quote, he's got Kyle Tucker, amongst others. You play it out. You talk to different teams. I had several conversations with teams today to try and find a way to either make a trade or to add a free agent. and keep going up and going up. He has to do his due diligence this offseason. He wants a little bit more comfort going in, Cashman says. Now we have Jason Dominguez, you know, and Spencer Jones out there. And the part of this that should give Yankee fans hope is we need a little bit more comfort, which signals to me they are uncomfortable going into the season knowing that I mean, look, I'll put it this way. If Grisham didn't come back, I think they'd be more comfortable than they are. But Grisham's back. Like if they didn't get Grisham back and they then said, "Okay, Jason, you're left. Bellinger and center, Judge and right. You're in a better situation." With Grisham back, he can't just be your big bat. From an optic standpoint, that looks bad. And Trent Grisham hit 34 home runs. He also hit 230. And some of the underlying numbers, I know the Yankees think he's going to be great this year. I'm going to share his Savant page on not his Savant page. I'm going to show his baseball reference page because it breaks down some of his splits a little bit better than Savant does. Hold on. This breaks down his splits for 2025 a little bit better than Baseball Savant. And here we are. Okay. He hit 182 against left-handed pitching, which is a problem. So the Yankees, regardless, have to get someone who can hit left-handed pitching and play center field. Is that Harrison Bader? Is Harrison Bader going to come back to not have a starting role? Could that be a Rob Refsnyder? Are they going to bring a ref back? I actually really like Refsnyder, but the Yankees didn't really treat him great the last time he was here. He actually hit well against left-handed starters, not left-handed relievers, I guess. Okay, I guess. I mean, it's also a lot less of a sample size. He hit much better on the road than at Yankee Stadium, like significantly better on the road. So that's something. Bellinger hit very well at home. So there's that. And you can't have just a complete nothing burger at home. And here's my favorite. His on-base percentage at home. I mean, his on-base percentage at home is still good. His on-base percentage on the road is great. His slugging percentage at home is pedestrian. And his slugging percentage on the road is really, really good. He hit more home runs on the road, more RBIs. He was overall more productive on the road. And that's something that needs to be spoken about. He also was a lot better in the first half. That I think we all knew. I feel like did he hit more home runs in the second half? Yeah, that I kind of recognize. And he was more productive overall in like production terms. And you could see like the drop off here. He was not good in September or October. And as the season went on, he got progressively, I mean, he jumped up in July from where he was in June and May. May was his worst month. He got 21 starts in May and was not good. Yeah, 385 batting average when he came in defensively as a pinch hitter. That's cool. Batting order. This is what I want to focus on here. The Yankees had him leading off for a lot of the year. This is a problem of theirs. They were addicted to leading him off. His batting average at the leadoff spot was 202 in 406 plate appearances. In 72 plate appearances, the next highest, when he batted second, it jumps up to 286. And his on-base percentage was not good out of the leadoff spot. He actually was a lot better if we go down a little bit here when he swung at the first pitch in the at-bat, which is something that I think the Yankees need to stop doing like entirely as a philosophy thing. But yeah. Wait, no. I'll move it back. The Yankees have a lot of rotation depth, but they need a starter at the beginning of the year. What are they going to do? I mean, the entire year. What's going to happen in the first half? I mean, what's going to happen? What are they going to do? Are they going to be able to do something in the first half? I mean, with a starter. I mean, think they're still in on Tetsuya Amai, according to John Heyman. I've heard otherwise from others, so I don't know. From others, I've heard they're doing absolutely nothing. Like I've heard to expect nothing. That they really want payroll to go way down. And I don't know how to react to that, if I'm being totally honest. Because if the goal is to not spend money at all, then how about come out and tell the fans that? They did that one year where they're like, we're not looking to, I don't want to say we're not looking to try, but they weren't looking to try. I think it was in 17. And they went on that run and proved everyone wrong. And I thought they were going to win the whole fucking thing. 17 and 18, 17 and 19 kill me still. 17 and 19 really kill me. Like, I'm doing a class presentation. Yes, I'm still in college. On, it's a communications class. So the presentation I'm doing with a group is on nonverbal communication. So one of the things I'm doing, I have a couple of athletes in my group, is how players on a baseball field non-verbally communicate signs to each other. So, like, I took the Ben Rice home run off Scherzer. I took the Mariners in the playoffs, and then I think I at least meant to take. I don't know if I did. I could quickly check. I know I downloaded the video, or at least looked into using the video of the Astros cheating. Oh, I definitely did an Astros cheating video. I almost did the Chapman home run, but I'm like, there's not enough to prove that he was cheating. And Josh Reddick today went on foul territory and was like, Altuve never cheated. Bullshit. Of course he cheated. He was there, and he didn't deny it. Everyone's like, well, Altuve never cheated. Of course he did. Everyone on that team is liable. Stop with this. And you know what? Joe Girardi had a point a couple months ago. Joe Girardi mentioned this a few months ago that it's time to forget it. Like he went over and he lost his job. Like people forget that. Like people definitely forget. Like Girardi lost his job because of that. Like he fully lost everything. I mean, House has said in the past that Girardi would not have been back in 18 regardless, and they wanted to make a change. But they would have beaten the Dodgers, I thought. Anyway, this is in a 2017 sob fest here. My point is, they're going to try this offseason. It's just how much are they going to try? And that's something that they're going to have to do. If the Yankees aren't going to do anything and aren't going to acquire talent and aren't going to, compete next year, they're going to have a lot of answering to do. Hold on. We have some. The Cubs. Hold on. The Cubs director of pitching, Ryan Otero, is leaving the Cubs organization to join the Red Sox as a special assistant to the chief baseball officer, Craig Breslow. Sombrero is set to take on a larger role that will include oversight of the minor league pitching development department. I'm adding this into that tweet. That's something that the Red Sox have struggled with recently is minor league pitching. Um, I'm trying to find someone just tweeted something out that was like relevant to this conversation. Um, it was from SNY Yanks. Where was it? Aaron Boone was on hand in Clearwater, Florida, as the Yankees hosted the second show of 36th annual children's holiday concert and giving back. Congratulations, Boone. Spencer Jones on top comment. Why is he still here? Spencer Jones said to the SMY at the Italian American dinner that he's trying to prove to the Yankees every reason why he should be in the organization. Roman Anthony said that they love Sonny Gray and he's a big team pitcher. And I'm like, that's not at all close to accurate because the one big market he was in, New York, he was horrible. Said some things back in, 17, 18, and 20, then goes to Boston and completely pretty much was like, I never said that. I hate New York. Screw the Yankees. Let's go Boston. And it's like, that's not your big pitching addition. I know there's more coming, and they really want more. But you know what? Other than that, hot stove last night was weird. The Yankees are trying to be, I think, tight-lipped. They weren't happy, and this has been reported, and others have said it, and others have heard it. The Yankees don't like leaks. There are other organizations like this too. The Atlanta Braves are one. They don't like leaks. They don't like things getting out. They don't like others knowing things. Obviously, and that's why there are certain reporters like John Heyman, who Chris Kirschner, who's the Yankee writer for The Athletic. I shared his podcast on my page the other day that I listened, and it was my Spotify wrapped top podcast of the year this year. I'm waiting for my YouTube recap one because that might be different because they're not on YouTube, and a lot of times it'll probably be WFAN on YouTube if they count that as a podcast because that's definitely my top. But that's besides the point. He mentioned it on there today that be careful where you listen. Like he said, he talks to Scott Boras all the time, and a lot of people do. But that doesn't mean that everything Scott Boras is saying is 100% on the money, because it isn't. And they need to do something. I mean, it's that Joe's McFly video. Doing nothing is crazy. I'm also going to say it from this way, from a different stance. If they don't spend money this offseason and they're under 300 and they're struggling coming out of the gate, forget revenue, because if that's your goal to get revenue, getting revenue is by spending money to be in and win a World Series. Then you get revenue. If their goal is not to spend money this offseason because of revenue issues, and they're not good, because I think we're living in the reality where, yeah, cool, they're all going to be healthy for the second half. Has anyone looked at the June schedule? It's a gauntlet. I'll pull it up. Their June schedule is a gauntlet. If anyone's looked at that, I certainly have. Because I've been paying attention to this stuff. I've also been trying to plan, if I can get out of town for a bit. I am planning on hopefully covering some games over the summer if everything goes according to plan later. Why is Yankees.com doing this? A couple weeks ago, or during the season, I did a schedule analysis But I do want to talk a bit about this. Their June schedule is a hellscape. This is their June schedule. Uh, what did they just add? Hold on. Oh, okay, that's good. I did like an Instacart order, and they're like making changes. Okay, so they're off on the first. Then the Guardians come to town, and Boston comes to town. Then they go to Cleveland. Off day. Then they go to Toronto. So that's a week of like death because you always have the crazy voodoo Cleveland game. Then you have the Red Sox or the Yankees are always horrible against until like October or until like September. Off day. Toronto up in Toronto. Then another off day. I find it interesting that Friday night's time is yet to be determined, but the other days have been. They're definitely losing this game. The 307 start. Hal Steinbrenner is in Tampa and just met SMY. It's funny. Then a little reprieve. They get a day off, and then they come back and get the White Sox and the Reds. The Reds are probably not going to be a pushover, but the White Sox certainly are. Then they head for a nice road trip. This will be fun. They go to see the Tigers on the road, which is going to be tough. Then they go to Boston for 4. That's going to be a gauntlet. Boston for 4. And then they come home to face the Tigers. They might face Tarek Skubal twice in a week. So that's their June schedule into the month of July. Then July lightens up. Right before the All-Star break, you pretty much get a bye. You play the Twins who the Yankees. I mean, that's a bye week. And then the Rays down at that dump, the Trop. And then you get the Nats, on the road in Washington. And then the All-Star break in Philly. Then you come home, and then you get the Dodgers, which is going to be no walk in the park, as we know. We'll lose that series. Then they go to then Philly comes to Pittsburgh comes to town, so you'll get Skeens, probably the day game. So I'm sure Skeens will be in the All-Star game 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. We might miss Skeens, or they might push them an extra day. Then an off day, and then they go to Philly. This is going to be a nice road trip for them. And this is the main one that I'm planning on trying to do. Philly, then Chicago, both Chicago teams. And then, August kind of softens up. You get the Cardinals. The Braves are probably going to be competitive. They're no walk in the park. The Mariners are always gritty. Then you get Toronto. Then you get Baltimore, who are going to spend and be better this offseason. You get Toronto again. The good thing is, by August 23rd, they're done with Toronto for the year. That's a good thing. And at least when they lose this Sunday game on my birthday, I'll be able to drink through it legally. Then this week, then the Astros come to town, and Boston. I mean, what my point is, their late second half schedule is no walk in the park. And they're gonna need to spend to get through it, and that's like the only way around it. And if they're just gonna say, okay, we'll figure out with our starting rotation is gonna be great in the second half. If you get to June and you're 500, and then you have to go through with Cole, who might not be 100%, this might not be salvageable. This ship might have sunken by the time Cole comes back. We saw a year when we had the Cy Young winner, and they couldn't get out of their own way. That's in the realm of possibility here. But I'm going to tell you this. Don't worry. It ain't over yet. If they come away next week, if we're on here a week from now and they've done nothing, and Tucker's off the board, and some others are off the board, and trades are being made across the league, but nothing's been done yet, then I'll say, all right, we've got a problem. But for right now, we're good. I'm gonna leave it there. Have a nice night. Go Yankees.